Profits. Happy New Year 2022. Let's jump right into the charts right now because we're all wondering what's going to happen to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other cryptos and the gaming coins in 2022. All right, let's dive right in. So we're just banging down on this floor here, okay? This line right here. If you're leverage trading and you're longing, I would certainly have a stop loss just below this, probably around 45.3. Hit your stop loss if you're going to be leverage trading. Longing on this, I did do a bit of a long from here to here. I shorted down, kind of waiting to see what's going to happen when we close 2 hours from now. We just below the high volume trading right here. If we come in here, we're still in the Gaussian channel right here on the 5-day. So now coming in since the beginning of December, instead of that 100K, 90K, some of us have been talking about for the last 6 months. Nope, boom, back down into it, back down under 50. We really need to get above 53K if we're gonna have any chance of getting up higher anytime soon. Thing is, we keep banging down on this floor here. Now, if we go back to what happened last time, is we were banging down here on 40 for a long time. People like Gareth Soloway, who was way wrong. Gareth, stick to the Dow Jones. Bang and bang, he thought coming down, this thing shot right up. So we could see the same thing play out here. We've even spent a lot longer time down here at this 45-ish region, 45.5, banging on that. Are we going to crack through that floor, or are we going to shoot up from here? Got plenty of room if we can get above this 51,800. That's a huge level of support and resistance. So going back here, back in June, I had a take profit here, but I thought it would be lower than it was, and a take profit here. Now, these certainly do coincide with take profit here, but at the same time, you would have taken here and you would have taken here. So, date-wise, totally right on. Price-wise, not, but date-wise, right on about when to take profits. Pretty much just lucked out on that one. But let's check out and see if we've got here we go. Let's click over to the 1-day here on for the 1-day we're below the Gaussian channel. Certainly did have this run up on the from the blue hash. And hey, when we made it to the top, 72% increase over that kind of 3-month period from when we had the blue hash ribbon. So let's take a look here and see. The last time on the daily we had one, we had the big run up to 65. We kind of trailing here. So if we're going to repeat this, zooming in for you guys here, if we're going to repeat this kind of a thing, blue hash ribbon, boom, up, corrected, blue hash ribbon, boom, up, correcting, now doing a great consolidation correction here. Are we going to shoot up from here? Pretty much from last time, from that previous, on the daily, the blue hash ribbon. Yep, it took 247 days to print another one. So if we go from this one here, April 13th, we're looking to possibly print another blue dot, meaning we're not going to have that giant 50 to 100% increase in Bitcoin until after that date, April 13th. So according just to the previous blue dot, we could be meandering down. I imagine could come back in the 30s in range here for a while until we get to that blue dot and then shoot up again. So going to be perhaps looking like something like this. Now, this is starting to look pretty symmetrical, pretty easy to follow, and it never really is. On the macro scale, we're still up. The macro scale, coming back 2017, 2019, really had to pump up after the pandemic. but still inching our way up here. So let's take a look here. This is the CME future. So on the previous we had this line here. We totally broke through that. Now we're above it now, so we could be using it as support, which would be good. Therefore, we could, even consider to come back down in this 42, which was a huge level right here previously. This 42, previous huge level. If we do, we can, coinciding with this level 42.6 and this trend line here, we could really probably see a boost up, but we'd want to get above this 53 area right here in order to get up. Then we've got to deal with that 62, and then obviously the all-time high 68.9 to where we can bust above that. So as you can see though, we are forming this giant wedge, which no other YouTube's talking about. So we got from here to here to here, and we could have potentially here get up to that 72-ish area here, and then kind of figure out when we're getting toward the end of the wedge next August, what are we going to do? That could be a potential for if we are going to possibly head on up to the 100K from there. So around next fall, or we could dump back down and it's just going to play with us, and then we could go into a crypto winter from there for a while. So we're going to have to see on this one here. They're always doing that to us with everything else goes back to the move except for the pen. All right, so let's get back to here. Now let's do a little Jason Casper McFib here. Let's pull from this 30. Kind of pull down. There we go. Let's do it more recent, and where we could potentially find our next levels at the 1618. There's a beautiful 83.5. So if we are gonna shoot up from here next fall, that could be a level we're looking at as perhaps resistance once we reach it, which would be the 83.7. Something more soon than that as a pretty good level to keep an eye on. Getting back to the 60K mark, right here. So we're going to have a lot to contend with that major line of resistance. And if we can get above that, then we should be able to make our way back up there sooner than later. But we could see going here for a while, and if we did like we did previously, which we didn't break through, we actually went up, we could continue up to that line, somewhere maybe February, March, April, until we get to the sell in May and walk away, just by a general rule of thumb. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for that one. Let's take a look real quick at Mina. Let's see if we've got Solana, really looking just like Bitcoin. Let's look at Sandbox. Really just kind of ranging here. Ranging here between 7 and 5. now call it 4.5. So now we're at 5.5. We're kind of right in the middle. We could, let's bring in a little, this is looking like something's starting to happen here. But this one we're getting close on a move for Sandbox. Real close on a move here. To where we're looking something maybe in the next couple of days, something's going to happen here with Sandbox. So that's on the daily. If we get down to like a 4 hour, I would probably adjust this a bit. Extend that. We're below the 55, so we're going to have to rely on this this 55 moving average here that we want to break above. So if we can meander through here, get a bounce, if we can break above and launch off, we want to wait for that confirmation, but we're going to watch what the 55 does. It's starting to curve over. If we can get a bounce off that, that would be pretty solid to take a long on this one, and we'd have an increase in sand. Of course, everything follows Bitcoin, so everything's going to depend on Bitcoin here. Yep, kind of started to level off here, so it's going to be exciting to see what happens. But getting back to that April here, getting that blue hash ribbon and launching up from there, see if we can make our way up a little bit more. So it looks like that stock to flow is a bit invalidated. What else can we take a look at here? So let's take a look at the daily market cipher B. So money flow has been leaving since a couple of days after Christmas, end of the year, selling off. You know, and a lot of people will do that for tax purposes, so kind of pretty expected right there. And we're hitting into the new year. Everyone's going to get back from vacation. We're going to see what's going to happen here. But if we curve off here, we're going to have an increase in sorry, I was just looking at something here. Yeah, so the VWAP is pointed down, money flows down. I mean, we're overall we're down here. We're down ever since we red dotted December 27th. But we'll have to wait and see. Somewhere around the end of January, probably have some action. Depends what happens here. I mean, we could see something like this, and then we're going to have an increase in price. This could continue to flow down and flow even farther down. So this blue wedge, volume wedge there. So yeah, overall, we're in this broadening wedge in a downtrend. We're in a downtrend, which is usually a bullish pattern. Something like that, so we could see us coming out. Now we would have to obviously break out of this trend line, retest it as support, and go up. So right now, our support is very, very strong here at the 46,747. I mean, that's an old line going way back. That's going back about, well, not quite the daily close of September 12th of this year, but pretty close to that. And that's where we're at right now, pretty much at 46,000 mark. So as you can see over here, support, broke down through, but then shot up out of it. I guess kind of a fake out. It was saying, okay, we're going down. It did retest it after a day's time as resistance, and we did go down from there. But our next line would be right here. Then we think about hitting around that 40K mark. So that's where we can come down to as well, the 40K mark. If we look over here, we've got a lot of support all the way down, and 44,000 is a big one. We were really in this area in this past September before we had that big October rush up, the green month of October. Now, if we're looking at, no, not MENA, we want to look at the Dow Jones here. We're at all-time high today, higher it's ever been, 36.8. Last June, I predicted this dip, which it did right there, and then this one here, which it did a lot there. 6 months previous, I predicted those two. Also the same last June of 2021, I also predicted here on February 14th and on March 22nd of 2022. So let's see how that's going to play out. I see us kind of doing something like this, a dip, and then a larger dip down here. We'll have to see how far that correction is leading into April and May. So that's two predictions from last June that came true on the profit side of things. So on the daily here, this 200-day moving average, we're below that. So we've got to get some, we've got to find a bounce and support somewhere to have any kind of life with this one. That'll about do it for this video. We'll hit you guys again soon. Have to see how this wedge plays out. Again, this is a lot of long-term stuff, especially this chart here going into 9 months from now. I do want to do one other fib here, just to show how we are. Oh, here, just to show how we are. We're below the golden pocket. We've got to get up to here. We're not to say we're below, we're in the golden pocket, but we're below the 618. We want to get above the 618, which is 50,000, about 50.7 thousand. And we've got that big resistance of 51.8. We've got to get above this key level right here, and then we've got this resistance here. So we've got to come all the way from there back up through here, and then we want to see a bounce up if we're going to continue up towards the end of January and get back up to 60. Here's another level here, 57.7. And of course we've got this 62, which is a big one. We go back to here. You can see $60.1 and 62.5 were huge. Huge levels for us. So